Cranberry Trail.
How that is built on the inside of
Smash that subscribe button and hit the like.
And don't forget to click the bell for future notifications and drop a comment below.
Thanks.
Thank you. Welcome back to our channel.
So we've got another fun Lego build for you today. This one was super fun to build.
Yeah, I have to say this is probably the one that you were most excited about, and one that I think we have been excited about since before we even started building Lego.
Yeah, this is one that I've had my eye on for quite some time. We're big fans of The Simpsons, and like Court was saying, even before we got into Lego, like I felt like this is something we needed to have.
Yeah, so this is the LEGO Kwik-E-Mart, which is actually a rare, hard to find, retired set that they don't actually sell anymore. So to buy it new, you'd be paying an outrageous amount on eBay or I'm sure other places like Kijiji and things like that to find it in box.
It originally retailed for like $250, and now if you're looking to get it brand new, like anywhere from $800 to $1,000.
Yeah.
So we bought it used.
This is the first set that we've ever bought used, which was definitely a different experience. So shout out to our seller who Ben was able to find on Kijiji, south of where we live in North Bay, Ontario, and it was a seamless process. I know I was a little nervous about it because we had to send the funds first and e-transfer and all of that fun stuff rather than buying it from either the Lego site or in-store in box.
Yeah, super seamless. It arrived within just a couple of days. It actually came fully assembled. Yeah. So the first night I spent time like reverse engineering it, like going through the manual from the back to the front, because I wanted to have the build like as authentic as possible. So I separated everything into like bins that would be bag 1 to bag 8. And it was super seamless. Yeah,
the only thing obviously to consider is that the stickers were already on most of the items. So to pick and choose certain pieces that are the same, we had to make sure that it was the ones with the most accurate stickers as we went through the build. So that was one thing that I don't want to say was kind of a bummer, but it was just something different about the build versus buying it brand new.
Yeah. So the LEGO Kwik-E-Mart comes in at 2,179 pieces. It took us like 6 hours or so to build. It was relatively quick.
Yeah, a few things we want to point out is obviously all of the minifigs in the front here. They are all authentic Simpsons minifigs. So a little bit different than the average minifig. Obviously, they are customized to Simpsons, and they have all of the kind of cool, freaky hair and accessories and handcuffs. If you can see Snake in the front.
Yeah. So the car was a separate build as well. That was actually bag 1. Yeah. So in bag 1 was the car, Snake, and Chief Wiggum. And then we want to point out on the back of it, we had to modify the set a little bit just because of the dimensions. It wouldn't actually fit in our new Lego display case. So there was a little piece of sidewalk, like a little step down just outside this door. So we just popped that off and replaced the different piece that made it a flush finish. Yeah. And it like just fits in our display cabinet.
Yeah, so I have to say that this is one of the only ones that we have that opens up and you see the inside. It's not just the outside. We have, if you see our previous videos with the Thor's hammer and the Nintendo that we did, they have little plaques that you put outside and are kind of meant to be displayed. There's not much to be said about the inside, if you will, but this one here is all inside.
Yeah, it's totally different inside.
Yeah, the detail is amazing.
So it actually pops open, and the roof piece slides out here.
So if you, on the roof has like little vegetables and an air conditioner and things like that. So it's not just a piece of Lego, which we thought again was very, very cool.
Yeah, and then there's little pieces inside, like so many little details. You've got the donut rack over here. There's like produce down in this one here.
The little tiny hot dog wieners, and even something so silly, if you really, really look at it, there is a fallen hot dog on the floor here.
Yeah, so when you close this up, it's hidden by the counter, so it's obviously fallen behind the counter, and it's not a detail you can see unless it's fully open.
Yeah. And even just tiny little things like the pictures on this dog food is Santa's little helper. We've got one of, you know, the old man's name here that's frozen in the freezer. I always forget. Jasper. Yeah. His name's frozen in the freezer. And there's little just like security cameras, and the coffee station is one I loved. It's just so much detail and so nostalgic to the show that it was definitely worth the process of buying it used and rebuilding it.
Yeah, another thing that's really cool is like all around the interior is the freezer doors, and the doors actually open up, and there's products inside. So each product was like a little piece we had to put together to put in there. So there's a lot of little details kind of around every nook and corner. So
yeah, and if you are a Simpsons fan, there is lots of nostalgia to the pieces on the inside. One pieces that you can't see on the back side here are Krustios, and they're actually printed pieces with Krusty cereal boxes, which is really, really neat.
Yeah, as well as there's a couple like magazine and news racks around. So there's one here that says it's the Valentine's Day card that Lisa gave to Ralph.
Yeah.
It says, "Let's be friends," and there's a picture of a bee on it.
Yeah, and the tiny little donut printed pieces and the easy money. It was just, like we keep saying, if you are a Simpsons fan, it is worth the build.
Yeah.
We watched the Simpsons movie actually while we built it, and it was just, it definitely was very, very fun. Yeah.
So this was the LEGO Kwik-E-Mart.
Yeah.
As always, we're going to do a little time warp so you can see us putting it together super quickly.
Yeah.
And we hope that you enjoy it.
Yeah, one last thing I want to point out, if we can throw it around. One of the last pieces that we built was the sign. And if you look really closely at the E, the only piece you build is the E. So the E itself is actually red stacked pieces that you build, and these two pieces were stickers. So that was actually a really neat piece to build. I couldn't picture it as I was building it, but then as you flip it over, you're like, oh, that's an E, that's so neat. Yeah. So lots of really, really cool pieces in this build, and it's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks.
The LEGO Kwik-E-Mart was released on May 1st, 2015 and was retired in November of 2017.
The Kwik-E-Mart first appeared in 1990 during Season 1, Episode 8 of The Simpsons titled The Telltale Head.
In July of 2007, 12 7-Eleven convenience stores were transformed into Kwik-E-Marts to promote The Simpsons movie, 11 in the United States and 1 in Canada.
In the episode titled Lisa the Simpson, Jasper freezes himself in the Kwik-E-Mart freezer. He had a note in hand that read, "I have frozen myself so that I may live to see the wonders of the future. Thaw me out when robot wives are cheap and effective. P.S. Please alter my pants as fashion dictates."
In the Season 5 episode titled Homer and Apu, Apu is caught on camera finding a dust-covered hot dog on the floor, which is later sold to homosexuals.
The Kwik-E-Mart's rooftop garden is accessed through a freezer door labeled non-alcoholic beer.
In the season 7 episode titled Lisa the Vegetarian, Apu reveals to Lisa that the hot dogs sold at the Kwik-E-Mart are actually made of tofu.
The song sung by Apu, Marge, Homer, Lisa, and Bart, Who Needs the Kwik-E-Mart, in the episode titled Homer and Apu, was nominated for an Emmy Award in the Outstanding Individual Achievement in Music and Lyrics category.
In the season 13 episode of Family Guy titled The Simpsons Guy, the Griffin family meets Homer Simpson at the Kwik-E-Mart while stranded in Springfield.
In the 19th episode of the 5th season, Apu and his brother Sanjay install 16 gas pumps to compete with the local business, the Gas and Go. The pumps are quickly destroyed by a stray mortar shell from a nearby military base.